Okay, so we've got this pile of articles about AI and loneliness.
Right.
And it seems like everyone's talking about these AI companions that are popping up.
Yeah.
And the big question is, can AI actually solve loneliness, or
Is it?
is it just some kind of tech dream?
It's a really interesting question, and I think to unpack it properly,
Yeah.
we'll probably need to start with
With how big the problem actually is.
yeah, exactly.
Because you highlighted this Newsweek stat about Gen Z.
Right.
A staggering 73% saying they experience loneliness.
Yeah. It's
That's more than half.
a lot.
It's huge. It makes you wonder, what is it about this generation? Even
With all the tech?
with all the tech savvy and being connected all the time,
Right.
why are they so isolated?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You think constant connection would help,
Right.
but several of these articles suggest it might actually be part of the problem.
Interesting.
This isn't just about being physically alone. It's more about that feeling of lacking those deep connections with people, those meaningful connections. Yeah.
Which is where these AI companions come in.
Yeah.
They're always there to listen, never judge,
Right.
always available.
Like a digital friend 24/7.
Exactly, 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
One of these articles even mentions some research
Oh, yeah?
from Harvard Business School
Interesting.
suggesting that these AI interactions can sometimes be just as effective as human interaction
Wow.
at reducing loneliness.
That's wild. I mean, I read that and I was like, what?
It is remarkable, isn't it?
Right.
But I think when you think about what actually makes us feel connected,
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of being heard, understood, validated,
Right.
it kind of makes sense that even an AI, if it's programmed in the right way, could kind of tick some of those boxes.
You don't always need another person there
Sometimes you just need that space
to just to process events
just to get it out.
without judgment.
Exactly.
And that can be enough.
Yeah.
To ease that feeling of loneliness, and especially for people who maybe have social anxiety or find it difficult to connect.
Right. For whatever reason.
For whatever reason, it can be a lower pressure way to kind of engage.
Yeah.
You've included an article here about Amy Wu,
Oh, yeah. Amy Wu.
who's the founder of Manifest.
Mm-hmm.
And her take on this is really interesting.
Yeah. Her app is all about using AI for mental well-being. And they seem to be focusing on Gen Z,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
They're not full-on chatbots, though, right?
Not really, no.
It's more like
AI-generated affirmations and meditations.
Yeah, like a softer approach.
It's definitely a softer approach, and it's a key distinction because I think it highlights how diverse this landscape really is.
Okay.
We're not just talking about replacing friends with robots.
Right.
It's more of a spectrum of different tools that use AI to address these different aspects of loneliness.
Okay, so we've these different approaches. Then you've got this other article about KnowMe AI.
Right.
And that seems to be a completely different approach.
Yeah, definitely.
They're using AI to have conversations about self-harm,
Which is
pretty heavy stuff.
it's intense, and I think it brings up a lot of questions about
Where the line is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, where do we draw the line? Helping someone through a tough conversation, okay, that's one thing. But can AI ever really replace
It's a big question.
the empathy and the understanding you get from another person?
Right, and especially
It's just a sensitive situation.
exactly, and that's something that comes up in a lot of these articles.
Yeah.
This whole idea of the ethics of AI companionship.
Yeah, because it's easy to get excited about the tech, the possibilities,
Right. Yeah.
but we're talking about real people
Real people with real feelings.
who might be really vulnerable turning to these AIs for help.
Absolutely. And that's where things get tricky.
Yeah.
It's not just can AI do this, but should it?
Right, it's a values thing too,
Exactly. Take KnowMe AI, for example.
with the self-harm conversations.
Yeah, on the one hand, if their AI can help someone in a crisis, even for a moment,
Yeah, just to feel less alone.
that's amazing.
That's huge.
But then on the other hand, it's a huge responsibility to give to an algorithm.
Yeah, because what happens if the AI gets it wrong
Exactly.
or misunderstands?
Misinterprets this situation.
Yeah, the stakes are so much higher in that situation.
Way higher. And that's where having a human in the loop is still so important.
Right.
AI might be able to offer some level of support, but it can't replace a trained professional.
Who can adjust to the situation, who really knows what they're doing.
Exactly. Someone who can offer that nuanced, tailored care.
Okay, so we need to be careful about putting too much responsibility on the AI.
Right. It's about finding that balance.
Which brings us back to Amy Wu and Manifest.
Okay.
Because they're using AI for affirmations and meditation.
Right. Much more kind of
It seems a lot safer.
lower stakes for sure.
Yeah, and they're very clear that this is a support tool.
Not a replacement.
Not a therapist, not a replacement for a human.
And I think it's really encouraging that developers like her are thinking about this stuff,
Yeah.
acknowledging the potential downsides as well as all the good stuff.
Because it's not like this problem is going away.
Oh, definitely not.
Loneliness is here to stay.
It's a big problem. And that Newsweek stat about Gen Z,
73%.
that's a wake-up call.
Yeah. And it's not just them.
Right. These articles suggest it's a much broader societal shift.
It's like everyone's lonelier.
It really seems that way. And I think that speaks to this very real need.
A connection.
Yeah, to belong.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the traditional ways of connecting aren't working for people.
Right. They're not cutting it.
So it makes sense that people are turning to technology.
Fill that void.
Right. But then the question is,
Are we just trading one kind of disconnection for another?
that's the question. That's the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
We want connection. But the same tech that's supposed to bring us closer might be pushing us further away.
It's almost like too much of a good thing.
Right.
Like having these AI tools to help us through those rough patches, those lonely moments.
Yeah, I get that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But to completely replace real human connection with some digital companion,
It's a slippery slope.
that's where it gets a little scary.
Totally. It's about finding that balance, I think,
Yeah.
where AI adds to our lives, not takes
However,
over.
it becomes our whole life.
Exactly. And maybe it can even help us build better connections in the real world.
Oh, interesting.
Like, think of AI as a way to practice empathy,
Okay.
understanding different points of view.
So we're better prepared.
Exactly. Even just practicing our social skills.
Almost like a digital training ground for the real world.
Exactly.
I like that. So we're not thinking of AI as this replacement for human connection,
Right.
but as something that can actually make those connections stronger.
That's the idea. And I think AI has a lot of strengths, right?
Yeah, like what?
It's always available.
That's true.
It can process so much information and give us really personalized feedback. So maybe it can actually help us become better communicators.
Oh, wow. So we actually get better at talking to real people because of this AI.
Exactly. More understanding friends,
Yeah.
more present partners.
So it's not about replacing, it's about enhancing what's already there.
That's the hope.
Okay, so back to that original question.
Can AI cure loneliness?
Can AI cure loneliness? It's not a simple answer, is it?
It's way more complicated than a yes or no.
way more nuanced.
AI might not be the cure,
Yeah.
but it could be a really valuable tool.
A part of the solution.
Right, and ultimately, it's up to us.
Us.
Yeah, all of us, to figure out how we want to use this technology.
How to fit it into our lives.
In a responsible way, in an ethical way.
Yeah, because it's powerful stuff.
Definitely.
But maybe, and I like to be optimistic,
That was good.
maybe if we can find that balance.
Yeah.
Embrace the good parts of AI, but remember its limits.
Right.
Maybe we can actually use it to make the world a more connected place.
Yeah. That's the dream, right?
Yeah, a world where technology actually helps us get closer instead of pushing us further apart.
I like it.
That's a future worth working towards.
Absolutely.
So for everyone listening, think about that as you learn more about this.
Yeah. Good stuff to think about.
In this world that's only getting more intertwined with AI, how do we make sure that technology enriches our lives, makes our bonds with each other stronger, not weaker?
Such an important question.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been really eye-opening.
Yeah, this was great.